The vast, imposing starship of Commander Xyloth glided silently through the inky blackness of space, its sleek, angular design a testament to the technological prowess of the alien race. Xyloth, a seasoned military leader of the Zyronian Empire, had set his sights on a distant human colony, determined to add it to his growing list of conquered worlds. As the Zyronian armada approached the colony's orbit, Xyloth stood tall on the bridge, his piercing gaze fixed on the blue and green planet below. "Prepare to unleash the beast," he commanded, his voice cold and authoritative. "This pathetic human settlement will be the first to feel the wrath of our ultimate weapon." Deep within the bowels of the massive starship, a monstrous creature stirred, its powerful limbs flexing in anticipation. The beast, as Xyloth had christened it, was a terrifying amalgamation of alien biology and advanced cybernetic enhancements, a living, breathing instrument of destruction. Ava, a young human scientist stationed at the colony's research outpost, was alerted to the impending attack by the colony's early warning systems. Her heart raced as she watched the Zyronian ships descend, their formidable presence casting an ominous shadow over the peaceful settlement. "All personnel, prepare for immediate evacuation," the colony's commander ordered over the intercom. "This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill." Ava, however, refused to abandon her post. She had dedicated her life to the pursuit of scientific knowledge, and she was not about to let it all go up in smoke. Quickly, she gathered her most valuable research materials and headed for the colony's main defense hub, determined to do whatever she could to protect her home. As the Zyronian ships unleashed a barrage of weaponry, the human defenders fought back with everything they had. But their efforts seemed futile against the sheer might of the alien invaders. Xyloth watched the unfolding battle with a detached sense of satisfaction, knowing that his true ace in the hole was yet to be played. "Release the beast," he commanded, his lips curling into a cruel smile. A massive hatch on the underbelly of the Zyronian flagship opened, and a towering, nightmarish creature emerged. Its reptilian body was covered in thick, armored scales, and its jaws were lined with rows of razor-sharp teeth. Powerful claws and a whip-like tail completed the fearsome ensemble, and the beast let out a bone-chilling roar that echoed across the battlefield. The human defenders, taken aback by the sheer size and ferocity of the creature, momentarily faltered in their assault. Ava, however, watched in awe as the beast charged into the fray, its powerful limbs crushing and tearing through the human defenses with ease. "No, this can't be happening," Ava whispered, her fingers flying across the console as she desperately tried to find a way to turn the tide of the battle. "There has to be a way to stop that thing." As the beast continued its rampage, Ava noticed something peculiar about its behavior. Rather than indiscriminately attacking everything in its path, the creature seemed to be selectively targeting the human military installations, leaving the civilian areas largely untouched. "That's odd," Ava murmured, her brow furrowed in concentration. "It's almost as if it's trying to minimize collateral damage." Emboldened by this observation, Ava made a split-second decision. Grabbing a specialized communications device, she stepped out from the relative safety of the defense hub and began broadcasting a signal, hoping to reach the monstrous creature and perhaps appeal to whatever remnants of sentience it might possess. "Hello," she called out, her voice trembling slightly. "Can you hear me?" To her surprise, the beast suddenly halted its advance, its massive head swiveling in her direction. For a moment, the two locked eyes, and Ava felt a strange, inexplicable connection, a flicker of understanding that seemed to transcend the vast gulf between their species. Commander Xyloth, witnessing this unexpected turn of events, let out a roar of fury. "Destroy the human," he bellowed, his fingers jamming the controls as he attempted to regain control of his prized weapon. But the beast, to Xyloth's growing dismay, refused to obey. Instead, it turned its attention towards the Zyronian ships, its powerful body interposing itself between the human colony and the alien invaders, as if intent on shielding the settlement from harm. Ava, her eyes widening in surprise, couldn't help but utter a single astonished word. Admirable. Commander Xyloth's face contorted with rage as he watched his prized weapon, the fearsome beast, defy his commands and turn against the Zyronian armada. The creature's hulking form now stood as a barrier, shielding the human colony from the invading forces. Impossible. Xyloth growled, his clawed fingers tightening around the ship's controls. The beast is programmed to obey my every order. What sorcery is this? Ava, the young human scientist, stared in disbelief at the unfolding scene. She had attempted to reach out to the creature, and somehow her simple gesture had elicited an unexpected response. The beast, instead of decimating the human defenders, had now positioned itself to protect them. As the Zyronian ships opened fire, the beast retaliated with a ferocity that stunned the human onlookers. Its powerful limbs smashed through the incoming projectiles, and its jaws clamped down on the armored hulls of the alien vessels, tearing them apart with ease. Impossible, Xyloth repeated, his voice laced with a mixture of bewilderment and fury. The beast was designed to be the ultimate weapon, a living extension of my will. How dare it defy me? Ava watched the battle unfold, her mind racing. She knew that the beast's actions defied all logic and reason, yet she couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Perhaps, she thought, there was more to this creature than met the eye. Determined to understand the beast's motivations, Ava began broadcasting a series of soothing signals, hoping to establish a connection with the towering alien creature. To her surprise, the beast's movement slowed, and its gaze shifted towards her, its piercing eyes seemingly filled with a sense of recognition. Xyloth, sensing the shift in the beast's attention, seized the opportunity. "Destroy the human," he commanded, his voice echoing through the communication channels. But the beast, instead of obeying, let out a thunderous roar that shook the very foundations of the human colony. It swung its massive tail, knocking several Zyronian ships out of the sky, and then turned its attention back to Ava, its movements now almost protective. Ava's eyes widened as she realized the truth. The beast, far from being a mindless, uncontrollable weapon, possessed a level of sentience and autonomy that defied Xyloth's expectations. It was not simply following orders, but making its own choices, and those choices were now aligned with the defense of the human colony. "This can't be happening," Xyloth growled, his frustration mounting. "The beast is mine to command. It was created to serve the Zyronian Empire, not these pathetic humans." Desperate to regain control, the Zyronian commander unleashed a barrage of specialized weaponry, targeting the beast's vulnerable cybernetic enhancements. The creature let out a pained roar as it was battered by the relentless assault, its massive form beginning to falter. Ava, realizing that the beast was in danger, knew she had to act. Ignoring the chaos around her, she rushed towards the creature, her hands raised in a gesture of peace. "Stop," she cried out, her voice cutting through the din of the battle. "Please, don't hurt it. I know you can understand me." To her surprise, the beast paused, its gaze locking onto Ava's. In that moment, she could sense a glimmer of intelligence, a spark of understanding that transcended the boundaries of their species. Xyloth, witnessing this interaction, let out a scream of rage. "Foolish human," he spat. "The beast is nothing more than a weapon, a tool to be used and discarded as I see fit. It has no place among your kind." But Ava, undeterred by the Zyronian commander's words, stood her ground, her eyes filled with a determination that defied the chaos around her. "Then you're wrong," she replied, her voice steady and unwavering. "The beast is more than just a weapon. It's a living, sentient being, and I won't let you destroy it." As the battle raged on, Ava and the mysterious beast found themselves at the center of a conflict that would test the very boundaries of their understanding. And ultimately, the fate of the human colony and the Zyronian Empire itself. As the battle raged on, Ava found herself caught in the middle of the conflict between the Zironian invaders and the mysterious beast that had turned against its own kind. The creature's actions had defied all expectations, and Ava was determined to uncover the reasons behind its sudden defiance. Ignoring the chaos around her, Ava focused her attention on the beast, broadcasting soothing signals and gentle gestures in an attempt to establish a connection. To her surprise, the creature responded, its movements becoming less erratic and its gaze fixing upon her with a curious intensity. "What are you?" Ava murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why have you turned against your own people?" The beast, as if sensing her curiosity, let out a rumbling growl that seemed to vibrate through the very air. Ava couldn't help but feel a strange sense of kinship with the towering creature, an inexplicable bond that transcended the barriers of their vastly different species. Commander Xylov, however, was not about to let this unexpected turn of events go unchallenged. Furious at the beast's defiance, he ordered his troops to focus their firepower on Ava, determined to eliminate the human who had dared to interfere with his plans. "Destroy the girl," Xylov bellowed, his voice laced with a venomous rage. "She has bewitched my weapon, and for that, she must pay." The Zironian ships opened fire, their weapons raining down upon the human colony. Ava braced herself, certain that her end was near. But to her amazement, the beast suddenly stepped in front of her, shielding her with its massive body. The creature let out a deafening roar, its claws and teeth tearing through the incoming projectiles with effortless ease. Tvilov's soldiers, taken aback by the beast's unwavering protection of the human, hesitated, their weapons faltering in the face of such raw, primal power. Ava, her eyes wide with wonder, reached out to touch the beast's rough, scaled skin. To her surprise, the creature did not recoil, but instead leaned into her touch, a rumbling purr emanating from its chest. "You're not a mindless beast, are you?" Ava murmured, a dawning realization spreading across her features. "You have a mind of your own, and you've chosen to defend us." The beast's response was a subtle nod, a gesture that sent a shiver down Ava's spine. It was as if the creature could understand her words, could comprehend the depth of her understanding. Xylov, his fury now at a boiling point, stepped forward, his clawed hands curled into fists. "Enough of this foolishness," he growled. "The beast is mine to command, and I will not allow it to be tamed by some insignificant human." He raised his hand, his fingers poised to activate a series of commands that would override the beast's programming. But before he could act, Ava stepped between them, her expression resolute. "No, Xylov," she said, her voice firm. "The beast is not yours to command. It's a living, sentient being, and it has chosen to protect us. I won't let you take that away from it." The Zironian commander's eyes narrowed, his lips curling into a cruel smile. "Then you will die alongside it," he hissed, his fingers moving to activate the override. But before he could complete the sequence, the beast's tail lashed out, knocking Xylov's hand away and shattering the control device. The commander let out a howl of rage, his plans crumbling around him as the realization dawned that he had lost control of his prized weapon. Ava, seeing an opportunity, reached out to the beast once more, her fingers gently tracing the intricate patterns of its scales. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with a deep gratitude. "I don't know why you've chosen to protect us, but I'm grateful for it." The beast's response was a rumbling purr, a gesture that seemed to convey a sense of understanding and acceptance. In that moment, an unlikely bond had been forged between the human and the alien creature, one that would shape the course of the entire conflict. As the battle between the Zironian invaders and the human defenders raged on, Ava found herself at the center of an unexpected alliance, one forged between herself and the enigmatic beast that had turned against its own kind. The creature's actions had defied all logic and reason, and Ava was determined to uncover the secrets behind its sudden defiance. Ignoring the chaos around her, she focused her attention on the beast, her eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and wonder. "Why did you choose to protect us?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. You were created to be a weapon, but you've turned against your own people. The beast rumbled in response, its piercing gaze locked onto Ava's face. She sensed a deep intelligence within the creature, a spark of something that transcended the boundaries of its programming. Nearby, Commander Zylov watched the interaction with growing fury, his clawed hands clenching into fists. The beast is mine to command, he growled, his voice laced with a venomous rage. It has been conditioned to obey my every order, and I will not allow some insignificant human to take that away from me. Ava turned to face the Zyronian commander, her expression resolute. The beast is not a mindless weapon, Zylov, she said, her voice firm. It has a mind of its own, and it has chosen to protect us. You can't control it the way you think you can. Zylov's eyes narrowed, his lips curling into a cruel smile. We shall see about that, he hissed, his fingers moving to activate a series of specialized commands. But before he could complete the sequence, the beast let out a deafening roar, its massive body suddenly interposing itself between Ava and the Zyronian ships. The creature's movements were fluid and graceful, its claws and teeth tearing through the incoming projectiles with ease. Ava watched in awe as the beast fought, its actions driven by a fierce protectiveness that defied all expectations. It was as if the creature had developed a sense of loyalty, a desire to shield the humans from harm. How is this possible? Zylov muttered, his brow furrowed in confusion. The beast was designed to be the ultimate weapon, a living extension of my will. It should not be capable of such independent thought. Sensing the commander's growing frustration, Ava seized the opportunity. The beast is more than just a weapon. Zylov, she said, her voice filled with a newfound confidence. It's a living, sentient being, and it has chosen to protect us because it recognizes the value of our lives. Zylov's eyes widened, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his features. Impossible, he whispered, his voice laced with a tinge of doubt. The beast was engineered to be the pinnacle of Zyronian military might. It cannot have such human-like qualities. Ava, emboldened by the beast's actions, stepped forward, her gaze unwavering. Then you're wrong, Zylov. The beast is not a mindless machine, and it's not something that can be controlled through mere programming. It has a mind of its own, and it's chosen to fight alongside us. The Zyronian commander's expression darkened, his frustration building. Then I will destroy it, along with this pathetic human colony, he spat, his fingers flying across the control panel. But as the Zyronian ships readied their weapons, the beast let out a thunderous roar, its massive form shielding Ava from the impending barrage. The creature's actions, driven by a fierce protectiveness, left Zylov and his soldiers momentarily stunned, their resolve wavering in the face of such raw, primal power. Ava, seizing the opportunity, reached out to the beast, her hands gently tracing the intricate patterns of its scales. Thank you, she whispered, her voice filled with a deep gratitude. I don't know why you're doing this, but I'm grateful for it. The beast's response was a rumbling purr, a gesture that seemed to convey a sense of understanding and acceptance. In that moment, Ava knew that her bond with the creature had grown stronger, and that together they would face the challenges that lay ahead. As the battle continued to rage on, Ava and the beast found themselves at the center of a conflict that would test the very limits of their understanding, and ultimately, the fate of the human colony and the Zyronian Empire itself. As the battle between the Zyronian invaders and the human defenders raged on, Ava found herself growing increasingly intrigued by the enigmatic creature known as the Beast. Its actions, driven by a seemingly sentient intelligence that defied its programming, had captivated her, and she was determined to uncover the secrets behind its true nature. Ignoring the chaos that surrounded them, Ava approached the massive creature, her eyes filled with a mix of curiosity and wonder. "What are you?" she murmured, her fingers gently tracing the intricate patterns of the beast's scales. "Where did you come from?" The beast rumbled in response, its piercing gaze locked onto Ava's face. She sensed a deep intelligence within the creature, a spark of something that transcended the boundaries of its programming. Nearby, Commander Xyloth watched the interaction with a growing sense of unease. The beast's defiance had shaken his confidence, and he was determined to regain control of his prized weapon. "The beast is mine to command," he growled, his clawed hands clenching into fists. "It has been conditioned to obey my every order, and I will not allow some insignificant human to take that away from me." Ava turned to face the Zyronian commander, her expression resolute. "But the beast is not a mindless weapon, Xyloth," she said, her voice filled with a newfound conviction. "It has a mind of its own, and it's chosen to protect us. You can't control it the way you think you can." Xyloth's eyes narrowed, his lips curling into a cruel smile. "We shall see about that," he hissed, his fingers moving to activate a series of specialized commands. But before he could complete the sequence, the beast let out a deafening roar, its massive body suddenly interposing itself between Ava and the Zyronian ships. The creature's movements were fluid and graceful, its claws and teeth tearing through the incoming projectiles with ease. Ava watched in awe, her mind racing as she pieced together the clues surrounding the beast's true nature. She had noticed the creature's selective targeting, its apparent desire to minimize collateral damage, and its unwavering loyalty to the human defenders. "You're not just a weapon, are you?" she murmured, her eyes widening with realization. "You're a sentient being, with your own thoughts and feelings." The beast rumbled in response, its gaze fixing upon Ava with a newfound intensity. She could sense a deep well of emotion within the creature, a longing for understanding and acceptance that resonated with her own experiences. As the battle raged on, Ava's determination to uncover the beast's secrets only grew stronger. She knew that there was more to this creature than met the eye, and she was determined to find the truth, no matter the cost. Xyloth, sensing Ava's growing connection with the beast, redoubled his efforts to regain control. He unleashed a barrage of specialized weaponry, targeting the creature's vulnerable cybernetic enhancements. The beast let out a pained roar as it was battered by the relentless assault, its massive form faltering under the onslaught. Ava, her heart racing, rushed to its side, her hands reaching out to shield the wounded creature. "No, please," she cried, her voice filled with a desperate plea. "Don't hurt it, Xyloth. Can't you see that it's more than just a weapon?" The Zyronian commander's expression darkened, his frustration evident. "The beast is nothing more than a tool to be used and discarded as I see fit," he spat. "It has no place among your kind, and I will not allow it to be turned against me." Ava, her determination unwavering, stood her ground, her body shielding the wounded beast. "Then you're wrong, Xyloth," she said, her voice firm. "The beast is a living, sentient being, and it deserves to be treated with the same respect and dignity as any other intelligent creature." The battle continued to rage on, with Ava and the mysterious beast at the center of the conflict. And as the dust settled, the true nature of the creature would be revealed, shattering the Zyronian commander's beliefs and forever altering the course of the war. As the battle between the Zyronian invaders and the human defenders reached its climax, Ava found herself at the very center of the conflict, her determination to protect the enigmatic beast unwavering. The creature's actions had defied all expectations, its fierce protectiveness and apparent sentience shattering the Zyronian commander's beliefs about the nature of his prized weapon. Xyloth, his rage and frustration mounting, had unleashed a relentless barrage of specialized weaponry, determined to regain control of the beast at all costs. Ava, her heart pounding, rushed to the wounded creature's side, her hands reaching out to shield it from the onslaught. "No, please," she cried, her voice filled with a desperate plea. "Don't hurt it, Xyloth. Can't you see that it's more than just a weapon?" The Zyronian commander's expression darkened, his lips curling into a cruel smile. "The beast is nothing more than a tool to be used and discarded as I see fit," he spat, his clawed fingers tightening around the ship's controls. "It has no place among your kind, and I will not allow it to be turned against me." Ava, her determination unwavering, stood her ground, her body shielding the beast's massive form. "Then you're wrong, Xyloth," she said, her voice firm. "The beast is a living, sentient being, and it deserves to be treated with the same respect and dignity as any other intelligent creature." The creature, sensing Ava's unwavering loyalty, let out a rumbling growl, its piercing gaze fixed upon the Xyronian commander. Xyloth, taken aback by the beast's defiance, hesitated, his fingers faltering on the controls. In that moment, Ava knew that she had to act. Reaching into her pocket, she produced a small device, its surface shimmering with a faint blue light. "This is a neural disruptor," she said, her voice calm and steady. "It's designed to temporarily disable the beast's cybernetic enhancements, allowing it to regain control of its own mind." Xyloth's eyes widened, his expression a mix of shock and disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered, his voice laced with a tinge of fear. "That device should not exist. How did you come by it?" Ava's lips curled into a determined smile. "I've been studying the beast's physiology for some time now," she replied, "and I've discovered that its cybernetic enhancements are the key to your control over it." Without hesitation, Ava pressed the device against the beast's neck, activating the neural disruptor. The creature let out a pained roar as the energy field enveloped it, its massive body convulsing as the cybernetic implants were temporarily disabled. Xyloth, his fury now at a boiling point, unleashed a barrage of weapons fire, his ships swarming around the wounded beast. But to his dismay, the creature's movements had become more fluid, more agile, as if it had regained a greater measure of control over its own actions. Ava, her heart racing, watched as the beast turned to face the Xyronian onslaught, its massive form shielding the human defenders from the incoming barrage. The creature's roars echoed across the battlefield, a defiant challenge to the invading forces. "Impossible," Xyloth growled, his claws tearing at the ship's controls. "The beast should be under my command. How dare it defy me?" But the creature, its mind now freed from the constraints of its cybernetic enhancements, fought with a ferocity that stunned the Xyronian soldiers. Its claws and teeth tore through the attacking ships, its whip-like tail shattering the hulls of the larger vessels. Ava, witnessing the beast's incredible display of power, couldn't help but feel a surge of pride and admiration. "You're not just a weapon," she whispered, her fingers tracing the creature's scales. "You're a living, sentient being, and you've chosen to fight for us." The beast rumbled in response, its piercing gaze locked onto Ava's face. In that moment, she knew that their bond had grown stronger, forged in the crucible of battle and the shared desire to protect the human colony. As the fight raged on, Ava and the beast found themselves at the very center of the conflict, their fates inextricably linked. And with the Xyronian commander's control slipping, the true nature of the creature would soon be revealed, shattering the foundations of the war, and perhaps unlocking the key to the colony's survival. As the battle raged on, Ava found herself at the center of a desperate plan to confront Commander Xyloth and put an end to the Xyronian invasion. With the beast's cybernetic enhancements temporarily disabled, the creature had regained a greater measure of control over its actions, and Ava knew that this was their best chance to turn the tide of the conflict. Gathering a small group of human defenders, Ava formulated a daring strategy. "We need to get close to Xyloth's flagship," she told them, her voice filled with determination. "The beast will provide the distraction we need to slip aboard and confront the commander directly." The human soldiers, inspired by Ava's unwavering resolve, nodded in agreement. They knew that their colony's fate rested on the success of this mission, and they were willing to risk everything to defend their home. Meanwhile, Xyloth, his fury and frustration mounting, continued to unleash a relentless barrage of weapons fire upon the human defenders. The beast, its movements now more fluid and agile, fought with a ferocity that stunned the Xyronian soldiers, tearing through the attacking ships with ease. "Impossible," Xyloth growled, his clawed hands tightening around the ship's controls. "The beast is mine to command. How dare it defy me?" Ava, sensing an opportunity, signaled her team to move in, their small craft slipping through the chaos of the battlefield. As they approached the Zyronian flagship, the beast turned its attention towards the invading ships, its massive form shielding the humans from the incoming fire. "Now," Ava shouted, and her team surged forward, their weapons blazing as they fought their way towards the command deck. Xyloth, his eyes widening with shock, unleashed a barrage of specialized defenses, but the human defenders, fueled by their determination to protect their home, fought with a ferocity that matched the beast's own. Ava, her heart pounding, led the charge, her fingers gripping the handle of a powerful energy weapon. "This ends now, Xyloth," she declared, her voice filled with a righteous fury. "Your reign of terror is over." The Zyronian commander, his expression twisting with rage, raised his hand, his claws poised to activate a final devastating command. But before he could complete the sequence, the beast's massive tail lashed out, shattering the control panel and sending Xyloth tumbling to the ground. Ava, seizing the opportunity, leveled her weapon at the commander, her finger tightening on the trigger. "It's over, Xyloth," she said, her voice steady and unwavering. "Your plans have been foiled, and your precious beast has chosen to fight alongside us." Xyloth, his eyes filled with a mix of fury and disbelief, struggled to his feet, his claws tearing at the ruined controls. "Impossible," he hissed, his voice laced with a tinge of desperation. "The beast is mine. It was created to serve the Zyronian Empire, not these pathetic humans." Ava's expression hardened, her grip on the weapon unwavering. "The beast is not a mindless weapon, Xyloth," she replied, her voice filled with a newfound conviction. "It's a living, sentient being, and it has chosen to fight for us because it believes in our cause." The commander's face contorted with rage, his fingers clawing at the air as if he could somehow seize control of the beast through sheer force of will. But the creature, its cybernetic enhancements still disabled, refused to obey, its massive form now a barrier between Xyloth and the human defenders. Ava, sensing the commander's desperation, knew that she had to act quickly. "It's over, Xyloth," she said, her finger tightening on the trigger. "Your reign of terror ends here." As the energy weapon charged, the beast let out a deafening roar, its eyes fixed upon Ava with a mix of understanding and trust. In that moment, the human and the alien creature shared a bond that transcended the boundaries of their vastly different origins, a connection forged in the crucible of battle and the shared desire to protect the innocent. And as the final blow was struck, the fate of the human colony and the Zyronian Empire hung in the balance, with the mysterious beast at the very center of the conflict. As the dust settled on the battlefield, Ava found herself standing amid the wreckage of the Zyronian flagship, her eyes locked on the towering figure of the beast. The creature, its cybernetic enhancements still disabled, had remained by her side, its piercing gaze filled with a newfound sense of purpose. Xyloth, the Zyronian commander, lay defeated at their feet, his expression twisted in a mix of fury and disbelief. "How?" he gasped, his clawed hands reaching feebly towards the beast. "The creature was mine to command. It was created to serve the Zyronian Empire, not these insignificant humans." Ava stepped forward, her voice calm and unwavering. "The beast is not a mindless weapon, Xyloth," she said. "It's a living, sentient being, and it has chosen to fight alongside us because it believes in our cause." The commander's eyes narrowed, his lips curling into a sneer. "Impossible," he hissed. "The beast was engineered to be the pinnacle of Zyronian military might. It cannot possess such human-like qualities." Ava's expression hardened, her gaze unrelenting. "Then you're wrong, Xyloth. The beast is more than just a weapon, and it has proven that it is capable of making its own choices, of forming its own allegiances." The creature, sensing the tension in the air, let out a rumbling growl, its massive form shifting to shield Ava from any potential threat. The human defenders, inspired by the beast's actions, stepped forward, their weapons at the ready. Xyloth, realizing that his plans had crumbled around him, let out a defeated sigh. "So be it," he muttered, his shoulders slumping in resignation. "The beast is no longer under my control, and the Zyronian Empire has failed in its conquest of this pathetic human colony." Ava, her eyes filled with a mixture of relief and determination, turned her attention to the beast. "What happens now?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The creature rumbled in response, its piercing gaze fixed upon the human colony in the distance. Ava, sensing the creature's unspoken desire, reached out and placed a gentle hand on its massive shoulder. "You want to stay, don't you?" she murmured, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "To help us rebuild, to protect us from any further Zyronian threats." The beast's response was a slow, deliberate nod, and Ava felt a surge of pride and affection for the remarkable creature. "Then it's settled," she said, her voice filled with a newfound confidence. "You're one of us now, and we'll make sure that you're treated with the respect and dignity you deserve." As the human defenders set about the task of securing the colony and tending to the wounded, Ava and the beast found themselves at the center of a growing circle of awe and admiration. The creature's transformation, from a fearsome weapon of destruction to a guardian and protector, had captured the hearts and minds of the human colonists. Xyloth, his once formidable presence now diminished, watched the proceedings with a mix of resignation and bitterness. "The beast was never meant for this," he muttered, his clawed hands clenching into fists. "It was a tool, a weapon to be wielded by the Zyronian Empire, not some pet for these humans." But Ava, her gaze unwavering, shook her head. "The beast is not a pet, Xyloth," she said, her voice firm. "It's a sentient being, and it has chosen to be here, to help us rebuild and defend our home." The Zyronian commander opened his mouth to retort, but the words died on his lips as the beast let out a thunderous roar, its massive form towering over the gathered humans. The creature's actions, driven by a fierce protectiveness and a newfound sense of purpose, silenced any dissent, and the human colonists erupted into cheers and applause. Ava, her heart swelling with pride, reached out and placed a hand on the beast's warm, scaled skin. "Welcome home," she whispered, her voice filled with a deep sense of gratitude and wonder. As the colony began the process of rebuilding and healing, the mysterious beast stood as a symbol of hope and unity, a testament to the power of understanding and the transformative potential of a single, unexpected act of kindness. As the human colony began the process of rebuilding and healing in the aftermath of the Zyronian invasion, the mysterious beast stood at the center of the community, a symbol of hope and unity that had captured the hearts and minds of the colonists. Ava, the young scientist who had first established a connection with the creature, found herself at the forefront of the efforts to integrate the beast into their society. She knew that the path ahead would not be an easy one, but she was determined to prove that the creature was more than just a weapon, that it was a living, sentient being deserving of the same respect and dignity as any other intelligent being. The colonists, initially wary of the towering alien creature, were slowly won over by the beast's unwavering loyalty and its apparent desire to protect them. They watched in awe as the creature used its immense strength and agility to assist in the reconstruction of damaged buildings, its massive claws and tail deftly maneuvering heavy debris with a surprising delicacy. Ava, her eyes shining with pride, observed the interactions between the beast and the humans, marveling at the growing bond that was forming between them. She knew that this was more than just a simple alliance of convenience. It was the birth of a new era of understanding and cooperation between two vastly different species. As the days turned into weeks, the beast's presence in the colony became a source of comfort and security for the residents. The creature's roars, once a signal of impending doom, now echoed across the settlement as a reassuring presence, a guardian watching over its newfound family. Xyloth, The defeated Zyronian commander was a bitter and resentful observer of these developments. He could not fathom how the beast, a creation of the Zyronian Empire, had been so thoroughly transformed by the influence of these insignificant humans. His attempts to reclaim the creature were met with fierce resistance from the colonists, who had come to see the beast as a vital part of their community. "It was never meant for this," Xyloth spat, his clawed hands clenching into fists. "The beast is a weapon, a tool to be wielded by the Zyronian Empire, not some pet for these pathetic humans." But Ava, her expression unwavering, simply shook her head. "The beast is not a pet, Xyloth," she said, her voice filled with a quiet conviction. "It's a living, sentient being, and it has chosen to be here, to help us rebuild and defend our home." The Zyronian commander's lips curled into a snarl, but he knew that he was powerless to stop the transformation that had taken place. The beast, once under his complete control, had become a symbol of the humans' resilience and their ability to forge unexpected alliances. As the colony continued to thrive, with the beast playing a crucial role in its defense and development, Ava found herself increasingly drawn to the creature, her fascination with its nature only deepening. She spent countless hours observing its behavior, studying its physiology, and attempting to decipher the complex web of emotions that seemed to govern its actions. And in the quiet moments, when the two of them were alone, Ava would reach out and gently touch the beast's scales, marveling at the subtle shifts in its expression, the rumbling purrs that seemed to convey a sense of understanding and acceptance. "You're not just a weapon, are you?" she would murmur, her voice filled with a sense of wonder. "You're a living, breathing being, with your own thoughts, your own desires." The beast's response was always the same, a deep, resonating rumble that seemed to echo the very foundations of the colony. And in those moments, Ava knew that their bond had transcended the boundaries of their vastly different origins, forged in the crucible of conflict and the shared desire to protect the innocent. As the colony flourished and the Zyronian threat receded, the beast's reputation as a guardian and protector only grew. Its actions, driven by a fierce loyalty and a newfound sense of purpose, inspired the humans to forge a new era of cooperation and understanding between their species. And in the years that followed, the tale of the alien commander's beast that had become an unexpected ally would be told and retold, a testament to the power of empathy, the transformative potential of a single, unexpected act of kindness, and the unbreakable bond that can form between the most unlikely of companions.